I've been building furniture since I was 12. And with all my experience, I can honestly say that the quality of furniture at Rooms To Go is exceptional, especially for the price. I mean, you walk in, you see all these great rooms set up, so choosing is easy. I mean, everything is made right, it's made to be comfortable, it's made to last. And after looking at it carefully, I don't think I could have made it for less. So how does Rooms To Go do it? Who cares? Just be glad they do.
All new.
Women talk about Oprah like, Oprah says, blah, 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 blah.
Who knew Dennis Leary is addicted to Oprah?
But now you're gonna be that girl.
I am.
And he's got a secret man crush.
That guy's got a smile that lights up the entire planet.
Then we're talking sex.
Women really want to ask me, am I normal down there?
All the questions.
How do you really know when you've had that big O?
All the confessions. Next, Rach.
Today at 9 on CBS 4.
Have you been injured in a car accident? You could be entitled to benefits of up to $10,000. Call the Car Accident Clinic now. We treat accident victims, work with attorneys, and help get you the benefits you deserve. Call the Car Accident Clinic today. We now join our program in progress.
Analysts say the increased tension between the nuclear rivals puts America in a difficult diplomatic position.
The United States is leading the war on terror in this region, and Pakistan is a very crucial ally of the United States in this war.
Charlie Daggett of CBS News, London.
We're back in 2 minutes.
When mucus causes chest congestion and coughing, it can be a late night.
Here's mucus. We'll be up all night. And now, a word from Mucinex DM. Mucinex DM!
Mucinex DM breaks up mucus and quiets coughing.
Uh-oh. We're off the air!
And Mucinex DM lasts for 12 hours.
I need a new gig.
Mucinex in, mucus out.
Attention, diabetics with Medicare.
If you're a diabetic, I have news that could change your life. USA Medical has a new and nearly pain-free way to test your blood glucose. No more painful finger pricks. This new meter allows you to test on your arm or your palm, and it's virtually pain-free. But that's not all. It talks.
Your blood glucose reading is 97.
Seeing and hearing your reading helps confirm accuracy. Best of all, USA Medical will send you one.
I made the call. USA Medical handled everything. The meter and my testing supplies showed up at the front door. Couldn't be easier.
With USA Medical, you can get all your diabetic supplies delivered to your door. They pay shipping, they work with Medicare and your doctors, and they handle the paperwork.
I don't test on my fingers anymore. I use my arm, and I can barely feel it. And I love how this meter talks to me.
Your blood glucose reading is 103.
Change the way you test. Call USA Medical.
First, we dig a hole next to the house and check for clogged pipes. If that's not it, we dig by the septic tank, check for leaks. If it's not there, we dig up the leach fields till we find the problem. This 60-year-old tree might have to go. Average repair cost, $6,000. Monthly maintenance with Red X, about $6.
Red X uses 100% natural bacteria and enzymes to break down waste, even paper. Use Red X monthly to help keep your septic system operating efficiently between pumpings.
It's 40 past the hour. A lot of students have to settle for their second or third choice for college because their first choice is just too expensive. In fact, when it comes to affordable schools, a national study gives 49 states failing grades, with only California passing. CBS's Kelly Wallace has the story.
19-year-old Vanessa Maserati was accepted at her top choice private four-year university, but for economic reasons had to enroll instead in Brookdale Community College.
Financially, I have a brother and sister in college also, so it was really hard. So I just ended up coming to Brookdale to save money.
Like Vanessa, more students may be squeezed out of their dream school or college in general. For a public four-year college, tuition has skyrocketed from $1,600 20 years ago to nearly $7,000 now. For a private school, from $8,000 to $25,000.
For a long time, we just thought about the very poor.
But now many middle-class students can't go. The tuition is just too high.
A new education report card found that families making less than $19,000 a year doled out 39% of their income on public college costs in 1999. That number jumped to a whopping 55% in 2007. The share for middle-class families making less than $90,000 also climbed from 18 to a hefty 25%, while families making more than $90,000 saw the lowest increase, from 7 to 9%. And the problem is only likely to get worse. Historically, education experts say during tough economic times, states tend to cut college budgets, which sends tuitions up.
I think it's going to be very interesting to see if states that have relatively high in-state tuitions, if they're now going to lose students to other states that have lower costs.
I know money is still always going to be an issue.
Vanessa's college dreams ultimately will be determined by her family's bottom line. Kelly Wallace, CBS News, New York.
The struggling economy is hitting almost everyone. While the bailouts for Wall Street and the Big Three seem to get all the attention, small businesses across America are hurting and often can't look to the government for help. CBS's Seth Doan visited one Oregon inn where the surroundings are a lot prettier than their finances.
We have about $1,300 cash right now.
Recently, the water at Jeff Thompson's inn and catering business was nearly shut off, and his 30 full-time employees had to go without pay.
When the stock market really tumbled, our business immediately tumbled. Brides stopped booking, reservations immediately fell off, and our cash stopped.
Just dried up.
Dried up.
This was not part of Jeff's plan, a boyhood dream to restore the historic Viewpoint Inn, once host to presidents and performers. Despite the solid history here, there's a shaky future for folks like Willie Gentry, who's trying to support his 2-year-old Alexa.
Today's payday too, so...
Or it should be, but the phone company needs to be paid first, and there's just not enough money.
This is tough to go around with hat in hand, almost. That's what's happening, right?
Yep. It's tough. But I gotta do it.
It's a similar story at the garbage collector, where Jeff and his partner Angelo owe $1,500.
If you say to me, I'll have the $700, which is a little less than half, then I'll get your garbage picked up.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you my car payment of $500.
Everyone feels the pinch.
If he can rebuild his business, it's, helps my business.
There's no time today to reflect on the past decisions or high-interest loans that got them in this place. Only the need to tell the staff where they stand.
This is not an easy meeting for me to have. Small business owners nationwide, at this point, they close their door and they walk out.
They're down 37 wedding bookings and hundreds of thousands of dollars from this time last year. And that means for these 30 employees, week number 2 without a paycheck.
It's 4:20. This restaurant opens at 5 if we've got staff to open it, which I hope we do.
A stunned staff ultimately stays. There's work to do.
Right now, I got to set up for dinner. I got 4 people coming in tonight, hopefully.
But at home, patience wears thin for Willie's girlfriend.
It comes to a point where you just have to say, yeah, it's a really nice place, but it's our family comes first.
Another day brings hope that everyone here can simply hang on. The question being, how long can they afford to? Seth Doan, CBS News, Corbett, Oregon.
You're watching CBS News Up to the Minute.
Sometimes it's hard to tell people their clothes look bad. Did the sweater stretch or is it a mini dress? Did these pants shrink? Can you breathe? Okay, maybe not that hard. Now I've learned to keep my clothes looking like new. I wash with Woolite for all fabrics.
Woolite won't cause stretching. It keeps fiber strong and won't cause wear and tear to any fabric.
And you thought Woolite was just for your undies.
Don't take a chance. Trust Woolite. Now there's a Woolite for every wash load, for all colors and for all darks.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Serious sore throat sufferers know there's nothing worse than a sore throat with a bad cough. Only new Cepacol Sore Throat Plus Cough Spray has the power to stop both fast.
Thank you.
Only Cepacol stops both fast.
What's in emergency that boosts your health and energy? 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C and naturally energizing B vitamins. For a boost you can feel. Get a free sample at emergency.com and feel the good.
First, we dig a hole next to the house and check for clogged pipes. If that's not it, we dig by the septic tank. Check for leaks. If it's not there, we dig up the leach fields till we find the problem. This 60-year-old tree might have to go. Average repair cost, $6,000. Monthly maintenance with Red X, about $6.
Red X uses 100% natural bacteria and enzymes to break down waste, even paper. Use Red X monthly to help keep your septic system operating efficiently between pumpings.
Tonight, what you need to know about online doctor ratings, who's doing it, and why they may not have your health in mind. Medicine Online, tonight on the CBS EB News.
It's the biggest singing competition to hit morning television. One song, one chance, one catch. You have to sing with your family. The Early Show Singing Family Face-Off. For your shot at stardom, watch The Early Show and log on to earlyshow.cbsnews.com for details.
Second Opinion, Medicine Online, tonight on the CBS EB News.
After you're diagnosed with an illness, what's one of the first things you do? You go online. Last year, more than 132 million Americans searched for health information on the internet, a number that has more than doubled in 5 years. It's what at least 3/4 of everyone surfing the web is looking for. But as CBS's Dr. John LaPook reports, it can be very risky.
That's a good boy.
When 45-year-old Melissa Offenhartz was diagnosed with breast cancer last May, she went straight to her computer.
I Googled everything from, initial things that I found on my mammogram report to little phrases maybe that my doctor had with me in conversation.
As she surfed, she was soon lost in a sea of phony remedies, testimonials, and seductive promises.
It's really a big ocean of information, and pretty soon you almost feel like you're drowning.
Some websites sold antioxidants to boost her immune system. It sounded reasonable, but when she checked with her doctor, she learned she was about to make a big mistake.
Because antioxidants protect cells, and you don't want to be protecting those cancer cells from the chemotherapy.
Melissa was nearly tripped up by bad medical advice over the web, and she's a nurse.
There are a lot of people out there trying to take advantage of cancer patients.
Barry Kaselev has seen cancer patients harmed, even die, after being duped by fake online cures.
I've seen patients, and they have given up their children's college tuition fund. They've sold their homes, and they do this, and it has zero value.
Even treatments debunked decades ago are still easily bought online.
There are 150,000 hits for Laetrile.
Like Laetrile, made from fruit pits.
I'm ordering Laetrile for $19 plus $8.50 shipping.
About a week later, my Laetrile arrived.
A few easy clicks of the mouse, and I've got my cancer cure. Only problem is, it's bogus.
Laetrile was banned by the FDA. It's a useless treatment.
Regulators are trying to crack down on companies making fraudulent claims, and the FDA has sent out 35 warning letters citing more than 260 products, including Laetrile. But officials say it's almost impossible to keep up with a marketplace so vast.
We are constantly scouring the internet for these sites and shutting them down. Unfortunately, when we shut some down, others pop up.
So here are some basic rules for searching medical information. If a product claims to cure cancer, click out. Beware of phrases like scientific breakthrough and products claiming to be natural and therefore safe. Beware of anecdotal information from testimonials or blogs. Check out the credentials of so-called experts. Look for sites like WebMD that are reviewed by health professionals. Some doctors say don't surf the web at all, but the temptation can be irresistible.
I went to see my oncologist. She and her nurse actually both recommended to me that I stay off the computer.
And what did you do?
I went online and searched for things.
The most important advice, Include your doctor. Together, you can figure out what information to trust and how it applies to you. Dr. John LaPook, CBS News, New York.
When it comes to getting credible medical information online, administrators at Ohio State University's medical school are now using iPods. The portable media player will become standard equipment. Medical students will view videos of medical treatments as well as assess images of the body and other organs.
So we can post lectures, we can post a variety of other videos and audios that students can download, just like they could download a song or a movie from iTunes. So having that control to being able to put our curriculum online and then have it be accessible to students and residents on the fly, we think is a real move forward.
A third-year medical student was credited for seeing the possible use of the iPod in the classroom. University officials said within 2 years, all medical students will be issued the iPod Touch loaded with special medical software. The average American household carries more than $9,000 in credit card debt. As the recession deepens, many are falling behind on bills, which means more debt collectors are calling. From our New York station, WCBS's Kirsten Cole explores when it's harassment and when it's perfectly legal.
If you've been throwing out your bills instead of paying them, the next time you log onto your computer or check your voicemail, you may have an unwanted message waiting for you.
The minute you put that phone number on a credit card application, you are saying, I consent to having you call me.
In fact, crafty collectors are emailing, texting, and calling cell phones to try to get their money, which could end up costing you even more.
Many people are giving up their landline and going with a cell phone, but many of them are still paying for text messages and calls, so they may not want the debt collector to reach them in that way.
The lender really has to pursue multiple channels to try and get in touch.
Annoying? Yes, but experts say also perfectly legal. Still, there are rules the collectors must follow.
Federal law does place some restrictions. You can't be phoned at 7 a.m. or at 10 p.m. or the middle of the night.
Other collection rules: no calls at work if your employer disapproves. 5 days after you're contacted, you must get a written notice of how much you owe and to whom. You can write a collector to ask them to stop contacting you. They can still sue for the debt, though, but they can't contact you if you notify them in writing that you don't owe the debt. And they cannot threaten to arrest you or harass you by phone. A debt collector can call you on your cell phone, but they are not allowed to send those annoying automated phone calls to you. And since email is now in play, you can negotiate a payment plan online without ever having to deal with those high-pressure phone calls.
WCBS TV's Kirsten Cole reporting. In Istanbul, a new star has popped up at the city's dolphinarium, and it's not a dolphin. This is Sarah the walrus. In addition to striking a pose and the usual trick, rolling over and clapping her flippers, she has now added more tricks to her repertoire. How about a tango with her trainer? Looks pretty good. And what is a dance without music? She's got that taken care of, too, with her saxophone playing. And for an encore, Sarah has been known to catch roses thrown to her by the crowd. You're watching CBS News Up to the Minute.
Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey is taking you over the top for the greatest show on earth. It's heart-stopping, larger than life, over the top. Come early to the all-access pre-show, free with your ticket.
Prepare yourself for high-flying thrills and astonishing feats. Hang on to your hats. This show is over the top. It's a circus spectacular with ticket prices starting at $15. Playing January 8th through the 19th at American Airlines Arena. Get your tickets today at Ticketmaster.
Need help? Injured in an accident? Call the law firm of Cohen & Cohen. Call 1-800-33-COHEN. We've been representing injured clients for 4 decades.
Established in 1970, we are committed and dedicated to our clients' needs.
For a free consultation, call now. 1-800-33-COHEN. 1-800-33-COHEN.
Come get your groove on at the 4th Annual Black and Red Affair.
I'm CBS 4's Jim Barry. Join me and my fellow steppers to benefit the young ladies at the New Journey's transitional home. We'll be stepping and line dancing and having a great time for a great cause.
It all happens Friday, December 5th at 8 p.m. For more info, call 305-259-6217 or visit sfsteppers.com. We'll see you there.
They're the things you do every morning.
I get up first, so I make the coffee.
Good morning, South Florida.
Here are the stories making headlines.
I'll see you later. Love you.
Love you.
What's your morning routine?
Traffic on the highways not looking too bad.
Go to cbs4.com/morning and let us know.
Bye, Mommy.
Have a good day, honey. I'll see you later.
Don't forget that umbrella as you head out the door.
CBS 4 News. We want to be a part of your morning routine.
The National Christmas Tree Association, yes, there is one, says more than 30 million Christmas trees will be sold across the country this holiday. CBS's Sandra Hughes met one family who makes it their business all year round.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
30,000 people came to celebrate the beginning of the holiday season, but the real star of the show was 100 feet tall. A Christmas tree from a family that has made Christmas its business for 56 years.
There's not many people like us, I can tell you that.
Vito and Diane Sarayo opened a little lot selling normal-sized trees in Southern California. Along the way, they had 5 little elves to help.
Vicky, Valerie, Vonnie, Vanessa, and of course Victor.
He's all the way down.
But Vito, now 75, dreamed big. He bluffed his way into a major amusement park and pre-sold a 60-foot tree. Then he had to find one. That took him high up near Mount Shasta in Northern California, where the family still hand-picks every tree. Some branches have to be removed for transport. And now there are grandchildren to help with the heavy lifting. It's Kai's job to plug 50-pound branches back into the tree.
Just one branch at a time. Put about 800 branches in here.
Wow.
So it's a lot of work. This is like kind of one of my masterpieces when it's all finished.
Daughter Vonnie hangs bulbs, 15,000 on this tree alone, and Vanessa hangs hundreds of thousands of lights.
I was 13 when I started. I was so small that if I couldn't reach, I would stand up on the bar, you know, hold onto the tree for leverage.
And now son Victor is in charge. But if you're born into this family, you better not be afraid of heights or you'll miss these views. How much does a 100-foot tall decorated Christmas tree cost? More than $100,000. But even in this economy, the family says business is still strong. Another 22 trees decorated this season. Not surprising, since these beauties, most in shopping centers, bring in the crowds, lighting up the spirit of Christmas year after year. Sandra Hughes, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And last night, perhaps one of the most famous trees in the country kicked off the holiday season in style. The 8-ton, 72-foot Norway spruce in New York City's Rockefeller Center was illuminated before a crowd of thousands. This year's tree was decorated with 30,000 energy-efficient LED lights on 5 miles of wire, topped with a massive crystal star. You're watching CBS News Up to the Minute.
CBS News. Experience you can trust.
Now on CBS News Up to the Minute.
The word concessions, I used to cringe at that word, but now, why hide from it?
The auto union promises big givebacks as Detroit heads to Washington looking for a bailout. And more evidence linking a Pakistan-based terror group to last week's bloody massacre in Mumbai, India. Good morning from CBS News headquarters in New York. This is Up to the Minute. I'm Meg Oliver. The CEOs of GM, Ford, and Chrysler make a second trek to Capitol Hill today. They hope to convince Congress that a $34 billion government loan is all that's needed to rescue them. This time, all three have parked their corporate jets and traveled to Washington in hybrid vehicles. But that small gesture is unlikely to win over many congressional opponents. Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid said again he doesn't have the votes to dip into the financial bailout fund, and time is running short before Congress adjourns for the holidays. The UAW announced it's ready to make concessions to help the automakers. For instance, suspending the controversial jobs bank. That's where laid-off workers receive 85% of their pay to stay home. It only affects 3,500 people, each making about $50,000 a year. Still, it's been a public relations nightmare.
If there's a perception problem, there sure is. I don't question that.
One of the things they do not want to do is to go back into the contract and start reducing wages and taking away other benefits.
Take-home pay for Detroit union workers averages $28 an hour, close to what Honda and Hyundai paid their U.S. workers. But when you factor in health and pension benefits, the equation changes. Labor costs in Detroit jumped to $73 an hour. But for non-Detroit automakers, it's only $44 an hour. Aside from the labor costs, there are questions about why Detroit waited so long to start building smaller, fuel-efficient vehicles, as well as the issue of executive compensation. Reports say the big three CEOs have been raking in about $25 million a year, while their companies have been driven into the ground. CBS's Susan Roberts has more.
The United Auto Workers Union is ready to make concessions.
Main Street, Side Street, and rural America are all impacted by what the Congress of the United States does.
That's why the UAW announced Wednesday it's willing to adjust its contracts with the big three automakers and make changes to some benefits. They include allowing the companies to delay payments into a union-run health care fund. The union held an emergency meeting a day before the CEOs of Ford, Chrysler, and GM head back to Congress for the second time to plead for an emergency bailout.
We think we prepared a comprehensive plan. People have read it. They're spending time with it to understand it.
The companies will be asking for as much as $34 billion in loans. They have a tough sell. Their testimony 2 weeks ago failed to get much support.
I'm getting very hesitant about last-minute proposals that have to be done overnight or instantaneously.
But auto workers and dealers say the loans may be do-or-die money for the industry. Some of them took part in this rally in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
It's a huge deal to us that Congress pass legislation and help the automakers.
The hearings before congressional committees will last 2 days. If members are won over, Congress could begin debating the loans next week. But at least one possible plan using some of the Wall Street bailout money to help car makers is probably off the table. Susan Roberts, CBS News, Washington.
Another former member of the Clinton administration is welcomed into President-elect Obama's cabinet, New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson. 1 week after being passed over for Secretary of State, Richardson got the nod to head the Commerce Department. CBS's Joel Brown reports.
President-elect Barack Obama has put another former campaign rival in a key cabinet position. Bill Richardson will take the helm as Commerce Secretary during troubling financial times.
Bill has seen from just about every angle what makes our economy work.
The two-term New Mexico governor has been a congressman, UN ambassador, and energy secretary. He's also the first Hispanic named to Mr. Obama's cabinet.
A nuestra comunidad latina.
Richardson acknowledged his heritage during remarks and in Spanish and English pledged to revitalize American industry.
We will create technologies the world is seeking while creating millions of new jobs that can never be outsourced.
Richardson had been in the running for Secretary of State, which went to Hillary Clinton. Mr. Obama shot down any talk that his commerce position was some kind of consolation.
Commerce Secretary is a pretty good job. It's a member of my key economic team that is going to be dealing with the most significant issue that America faces right now, and that is how do we put people back to work?
The president-elect says he'll continue seeking diversity in his cabinet and staff, but first and foremost, he is looking for the best qualified candidates. Joel Brown, CBS News, Chicago.
A candlelight vigil in Mumbai to mark the 1-week anniversary of the Mumbai massacre. But it wasn't all tears. Many were calling for war with Pakistan over that country's alleged involvement in the attack that left some 170 people dead. Indian intelligence says the masterminds of the attack remain at large in Pakistan, and the group they lead was originally created by Pakistani intelligence. Joint Chiefs Chairman Michael Mullen is in Pakistan trying to diffuse tensions and Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice arrived this morning. Meanwhile, 2 more bombs left over from the attack were discovered in a Mumbai train station. CBS's Bob Orr reports.
The evidence is clear. The attacks on Mumbai began in these Pakistan-based training camps of the terror group Lashkar-e-Taiba. Intelligence sources say phone calls intercepted as the attacks played out directly connect the gunmen to senior leaders of that group, also known as LET. And the only terrorist captured in the attack confirms that he and 23 others trained for more than a year at various locations inside Pakistan in urban combat, hostage-taking, and explosives. In India, Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice said the attacks were the work of professional terrorists.
This is clearly the kind of terrorism in which Al-Qaeda participates.
So far, investigators have not found the fingerprints of bin Laden in Mumbai. But there is evidence Al-Qaeda and LET are growing closer, sharing communication links, training camps, and the same deadly mission.
Their objective is essentially a global jihad.
Founded in the 1980s by the Pakistani Intelligence Service, LET first focused on the conflict with India over the disputed border region of Kashmir. After they attacked the Indian parliament in 2001, Lashkar-e-Taiba was outlawed by Pakistan. But their terror continued and grew in scale, with the 2006 bombing of trains in Mumbai, which killed 200 people.
I think of them as being the second most important terrorist group of global reach that operates out of South Asia today, second only to Al-Qaeda.
Bob Orr, CBS News, Washington.
More news in 2 minutes. This is Up to the Minute.
I'm not a lawyer, but I know how important it is to protect your family after you've been hurt in a car accident.
You know, every time you get behind the wheel, you take a chance that someone else is going to be careless. And if you end up getting hurt, you may need money for medical bills and lost wages. Without a lawyer, the insurance company may convince you to settle for less.
Call Steinger, Isco, and Green, 1-800-561-1111.
Their goal is to get you every dollar you deserve.
Non-lawyer spokespersons.
RV buyers. This Thursday through Sunday at Dolphin Stadium, it's an RV liquidation show and sale. This is your best chance to save up to 40% off on a huge selection of new motorhomes from Gulfstream and Tiffin, and a great selection of certified pre-owned RVs, some up to 40% off. Names like Fleetwood, Monaco, Winnebago, and Allegro. Plus, bank repos. The bank's loss is your gain at this show. All must be liquidated with savings up to 40% off MSRP. It's the RV liquidation show and sale at Dolphin Stadium this Thursday through Sunday.
Love and diamonds are forever. Show your love with diamonds when you buy from Ocean Jewelers. Direct diamond cutters and importers for over 40 years. See our large selection of diamonds in all shapes and sizes. Guaranteed to satisfy every budget. And if you have money problems or just need some extra cash, come to Ocean Jewelers. Bring in your diamonds, jewelry, and watches for a free evaluation. You'll get the highest prices paid in cash. We can also offer you a pawn cash loan at 5% interest. The lowest rate in Florida. Ocean Jewelers, the diamond store in downtown Hollywood.
The Doctors is all new with the top 5 mistakes new parents make.
Can you be doing something wrong and not even know it?
Time to make a house call.
Feeding, crying, teething.
Squirt a little bit of that little gauze, scrub.
Do you know the safest way to clip your baby's nails?
I did it! Hey. I did it!
And so can you. Then put an end to a stuffy nose once and for all on The Doctors.
Today at 3 on 4, brought to you by these sponsors.
It's 10 past the hour. When the CEOs of the Big Three go back to Capitol Hill today to make their case for a bailout, they'll point to balance sheets that show they're drowning in red ink. But they've still managed to invest millions this year in politicians who could help decide their fate. More from CBS's Cheryl Atkinson.
As Congress mulls over a bailout for U.S. automakers, some may be thinking about more than jobs in the economy. The auto industry spent nearly $50 million lobbying Congress in the first 9 months of this year, and people tied to the auto industry gave another $15 million in campaign contributions. It's not surprising that a lot of that money went to members of Congress from Michigan, where the auto industry is the biggest employer and politicians are passionate advocates for their constituents. Take Senator Carl Levin, and in the House, Congressman Joe Nolenberg and John Dingell. All have enjoyed generous support from the auto industry over their careers. General Motors and Ford are their top two contributors. All support a bailout. But nobody's been a bigger advocate for Motor City interests than Dingell. And for him, the stakes aren't just political, they're personal.
There's an actual conflict. His personal financial health, the wealth of his family is tied up in the car industry.
Dingell's wife, Debbie, once worked as a lobbyist for GM. When she married the congressman, she became a senior GM executive at an undisclosed salary. And we found the couple has extensive GM assets. Dingell's current financial disclosure form, filed in May, lists GM stock worth up to $350,000, options worth up to $1 million more, and a GM pension fund. In 2000, among the Dingell's GM assets were stock options worth up to $5 million. And in 1998, the congressman reported selling GM stock options worth up to $1 million. Dingell, shown here meeting with auto executives, wouldn't agree to an interview. Taxpayer watchdog Ryan Alexander says the Dingell's personal ties to GM are something the public should know about when the congressman casts his votes.
They stand to benefit if the company doesn't go under, if the company prospers, and they stand to lose a lot if the company goes bankrupt.
Nobody is placing bets on whether Congress will end up giving the car companies a bailout, but if investments in Washington politicians count as leverage, then the auto industry has plenty of clout. Cheryl Atkinson, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The airline industry has already made many of the cuts and concessions the automakers are offering. One way the airlines have made a difference is by charging passengers for all baggage. But as KOLD TV's Barbara Grihova in Tucson explains, the scales that weigh your bags aren't always accurate.
First stop, the Delta Airlines counter. By the end of the inspection, all 8 of Delta's baggage scales, 6 inside and 2 at the curb, were red tagged.
We had to take them out of service because they were not giving an accurate reading. If you came in with a 50-pound bag, it would tell you it weighed 51 pounds, and they would charge you a fee.
Weights and Measures Department spokesman Steve Meisner says the scales had been changed and were not in compliance.
If you take a scale and you weigh yourself on a level concrete floor, you're going to get one weight. If you take that same scale and don't adjust it and put it on carpeting, the weight's going to change. That's the kind of problem we were finding when we found the wood planking and the foam strips underneath the plates for the scale.
That does surprise me, yeah. I would assume that the airlines would be accurate with what they're doing.
Delta had to quit weighing bags and just let them pass. One Delta customer was glad to hear it.
Around Christmas time, I don't want to get hit with some other fees when, we're flying back and forth to see family.
The Delta scales were a surprise to the investigators.
This is unusual. We almost always find some problems when we come out to the airport. To my knowledge, this is the first time where we've had to shut down every scale at one airline.
KOLD's Barbara Grihova reporting. We'll be right back. You're watching CBS News Up to the Minute.
Tired of morning coming in the middle of the night? Ask your prescriber about 2-layer Ambien CR. The first layer dissolves quickly to help you fall asleep, and unlike other sleep aids, a second dissolves slowly to help you stay asleep. Until you know how Ambien CR will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Plan to devote 7 to 8 hours to sleep before being active. Sleepwalking and eating or driving while not fully awake with amnesia for the event have been reported. In rare cases, severe allergic reactions can occur. If you experience any of these behaviors or reactions, contact your doctor immediately. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. It's non-narcotic and can be taken for as long as your prescriber recommends. Like most sleep aids, it has some risk of dependency. Don't take it with alcohol. To wake up ready for your day, ask your prescriber for 2-layer Ambien CR.
First, we dig a hole next to the house. If it's not there, we dig by the septic tank till we find the problem. Average repair cost, $6,000. Monthly maintenance with Red-X, about $6.
Use Red-X monthly to help keep your septic system operating efficiently between pumpings.
What's in emergency that boosts your health and energy? 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C and naturally energizing B vitamins. For a boost you can feel, get a free sample at emergency.com and feel the good.
Here at this modern-day watering hole, this urban Serengeti, it's man meets reptile.
So, Lucy, what are you doing?
Just a little online shopping.
You should check out Geico.com, get a free rate quote. If you like what you see, you can buy it online, over the phone, or at your local Geico office.
Cool.
Remarkable. Oh no. Help! Did you hear something?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Tonight, what you need to know about online doctor ratings, who's doing it, and why they may not have your health in mind. Medicine Online, tonight on the CBS EV News.
It's the biggest singing competition to hit morning television. One song, one chance, one catch. You have to sing with your family. The Early Show Singing Family Face-Off. For your shot at stardom, watch The Early Show and log on to earlyshow.cbsnews.com for details.
Second Opinion, Medicine Online, tonight on the CBS EV News.
Coming up at 17 past the hour, top stories on Up to the Minute. The United Auto Workers are ready to make concessions to help bail out their employers. Today, heads of the Big Three will testify on Capitol Hill. President-elect Barack Obama has selected New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson as his Commerce Secretary. Richardson previously served in the House and as Energy Secretary during the Clinton administration. And union representatives say United Airlines will temporarily lay off more than 1,000 workers. The nation's third largest airline also plans to close maintenance facilities at Newark, LaGuardia, and Philadelphia airports. Beating breast cancer is hard enough, but a new study stresses that any delay in radiation treatment can have deadly consequences. CBS's Karen Brown reports.
Dr. Hayes.
When Elizabeth Morris was diagnosed with early breast cancer, she knew the clock was ticking.
I'm a person, when there's something there, I want it out, I want it taken care of.
The 83-year-old made sure she was quickly treated with radiation. A new study suggests that her fast, thorough action may help save her life. Researchers at Weill Cornell Medical College found that for women over 64 with early breast cancer, delays in post-surgical radiation significantly increase the risk of the cancer coming back.
If you wait a long, long time, you're allowing those cells that we know are there hiding somewhere to grow.
Women whose treatment was delayed by 12 weeks were 400% more likely to develop another breast tumor.
And researchers say 1 in 5 older female patients is receiving delayed or even incomplete treatment, which lowers their survival rate. The women who didn't fully complete their radiation were 32% more likely to die. A majority of the undertreated patients lived in high poverty areas.
Their care isn't being coordinated very well, or they don't know the importance of seeking and obtaining timely and complete radiation treatment.
Elizabeth is counting on her treatment.
The hope is that with the radiation, it will slow any return of any cancer.
She believes with proper care, you can beat cancer at any age. Karen Brown, CBS News, New York.
It's a tug of war between the highest court in Oregon and the highest court in the land. Wednesday, for the third time, the U.S. Supreme Court heard arguments in an Oregon tobacco case. It could leave cigarette maker Philip Morris on the hook for $80 million. The widow of a smoker who died of lung cancer was awarded that amount in punitive damages in 1999. Twice, the High Court has struck down the award as too high, and twice the Oregon court has upheld it. A final decision isn't expected until spring. Gift cards have become a popular holiday option, but a controversial new one has sparked a major debate. Leslie Olson from Wish TV in Indianapolis explains.
Anymore, you can find a gift card or certificate for just about any occasion or use, from restaurants to hotels. But here's a new twist: Planned Parenthood gift certificates.
Midtown Planned Parenthood, this is Sarah. May I help you?
Planned Parenthood of Indiana says a big increase in calls and visits from newly unemployed and uninsured Hoosiers prompted what it calls the unusual yet practical gift option.
Yeah, that wouldn't suit my fancy, but I'd probably come up with something else.
So people are making really tough decisions about putting gas in their car and food on the table. So we know that many women especially put healthcare at the bottom of their list of things to do.
The certificates come in $25 increments.
Oh, I'd be all for that.
They can be used for everything from birth control to $58 examinations that include breast exams and Pap tests. Men who receive health care at Planned Parenthood can use them too.
They can be seen for sexually transmitted disease screenings, HIV tests, and general prostate exams and those kinds of things.
Doesn't go for abortions, would it?
Actually, it does. But Planned Parenthood says that's not the purpose of the gift certificates.
They're really intended for preventative health care. We decided not to put restrictions on the gift certificate, so it's for whatever people feel they need the services for most.
Indiana Family Institute President Kurt Smith says he is appalled by the certificates.
I think the way to help family planning is to give the money where there's no agenda. So if somebody wants to help a woman at a time of crisis, they can support the life centers throughout Indiana.
Planned Parenthood hopes philanthropists look at it differently. The organization hopes people might purchase the certificates, then turn them back in for patients who need reproductive health care but can't pay for it.
Wish TV's Leslie Olson reporting. In overseas trading, Japan's benchmark Nikkei index closed down 79 points to finish at 7,924. Alexis Christoforous has more in this morning's CBS News Money Watch.
The government may throw a lifeline to the sinking housing market. The Wall Street Journal reports the Treasury is considering lowering mortgage rates for new loans. The plan would reduce rates at Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to as low as 4.5%, a full percentage point lower than current 30-year fixed mortgages. News of the possible plan sparked a late-day rally on Wall Street. The Dow Industrials shot up over 172 points, while the Nasdaq added about 43. The big three automakers make their big pitch today. The CEOs of Ford, GM, and Chrysler returned to Congress, once again asking lawmakers for billions of dollars to stay afloat. Earlier this week, the companies handed over plans detailing how they'll use the money to become profitable again. Today, we'll get new indications of how the economy is doing. A report on factory orders comes out later this morning. Also, retailers report their November sales, and some chains are expected to post double-digit drops. Bally Total Fitness has fallen victim to the unhealthy economy. The gym is filing for bankruptcy protection for the second time in 2 years. And that's your Money Watch. Log on to cbsnews.com for more business headlines. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Alexis Christoforous.
It may not have been the best way to address the economic crisis, but it did have style. Wearing a crown with nearly 3,000 diamonds, Queen Elizabeth promised help for ordinary Britons during tough financial times. The Queen's speech Wednesday to Parliament was written by Prime Minister Gordon Brown and his Labour Party. It said the government's priority will be the stability of the British economy during the global economic downturn. Now a look at your Thursday morning weather. The latest satellite picture shows Ohio and the Tennessee Valley covered in clouds. Much of the same for a good portion of California. The East Coast is enjoying a clear night. Later today, the southeast will see showers, while the East Coast will be gray with breezy, mild weather. The lower Midwest and the upper plains will be cold and windy, with temperatures in the teens and 20s. Elsewhere, snow will cover most of Colorado, making travel difficult through Denver. In sports, it's the highlight every sports fan is talking about. A wild finish in the last 20 seconds of a Division III basketball game between SUNY Geneseo and SUNY Oswego. A basket-for-basket exchange that came down to the buzzer.
Here comes Morton with 15 seconds across mid. Down to 12 seconds. Morton for three from straight out. Goal! He got it with 9.1 seconds. Here comes Oswego. They don't have a timeout. With 7, with 6. Downing will drive. He'll lean. Scoop. He hit it. Oh, Downing with 3.4. Here's a long pass. Ahead to Baker. He'll chase it down. Lamp is up. It's no good. Morton will throw it in. He made it. He made it. Oh, you made it. Believe it. I don't believe it. The ball, he threw it over his head, and it went in. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Why buy half a mattress? Two sides are always better than one. Celebrate with the American Spirit from Englander. Made in America, exclusively at Bedding Barn. Take it home with you or same-day delivery available. Buy at a Bedding Barn near you.
In Florida, Davie, Tamarack, Deerfield Beach, Boynton Beach, and West Palm Beach.
Sell your house today. Call 1-800-PAY-CASH. We buy from anyone, for any reason, in any condition. Repairs, estates, foreclosures, bankruptcies. Pay no commissions or fees. Call 1-800-PAY-CASH. That's 1-800-PAY-CASH.
Get cash now! Morningstar's jewelers and pawnbrokers can get you immediate cash loans for your jewelry at the lowest rate in the state of Florida.
Only 5%.
For the most cash at the absolute lowest rate, visit us now.
Nobody beats Morningstar's.
With every new day, there are new stories to tell about the people who live here and the place we call home.
All of the faces that I see, all of the places close
Shannon Horry and Antonio Mora, sharing the stories of South Florida on CBS 4 News.
Bedding Barn has the largest selection of the world-famous Tempur-Pedic at the guaranteed lowest discount prices. You gotta feel it to believe it. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
In Florida, Davie, Tamarack, Deerfield Beach, Boynton Beach, and West Palm Beach.
In these tough economic times, a lot of people are looking for work, but one Sioux Falls, South Dakota man hasn't applied for a job in 60 years. That's because he's worked at the same place since he was 18. Don Jorgensen from KELO TV has his story.
To say that it's been a long, tough road for Charlie Kapperman is an understatement. For 6 decades, Charlie has moved a lot of pallets at Coca-Cola.
Are you the hardest worker here? Oh, you can bet on that.
But he's also moved a lot of his co-workers through inspiration.
I know nights where he would, I was always afraid the furnace might go out, so he brought a cot in and slept downstairs in the basement, basically down by the furnace to babysit that all night.
Charlie has held various jobs at Coke over the years, including boss.
They told me you're kind of an ornery cuss. No, not really.
Tell the truth.
Yeah, I am.
Like he was saying, he was ornery. And I did wonder why I even bothered to stay. He was a tough guy to work for, but he could chew you out 1 minute and give you the shirt off his back the next.
Charlie tried to retire back in 1994, but this Coca-Cola man still had a lot of fizz left in him.
I retired for 2 weeks, and I went back to work again. I couldn't stand it.
Don't let the deep lines in the face fool you. Charlie is still one smooth operator and offers this advice to young workers.
Well, I would say if a person is going to work for somebody, dedicate himself to that or her, to that job, and stay with it. Then you'll probably do more for anything than that. It's just something that you should do for your company.
And they, in return, may do something for you.
No kidding. Wow.
Charlie's co-workers and the company are sending him on a fishing trip to Lake Erie.
Wow. That's great. I can't wait for that.
But he might have to take some time off from work.
KELO's Don Jorgensen reporting. It was a sign of the season as the White House unveiled its 2008 White House Christmas decorations. First Lady Laura Bush chose a red, white, and blue patriotic theme for her final holiday in the White House. From nutcrackers dressed like Uncle Sam to a blue room tree decorated with 369 ornaments from every congressional district and U.S. territory. You're watching CBS News Up to the Minute.
CBS News.
The word concessions, I used to cringe at that word, but now, why hide from it?
Concession stand. The UAW ready to sacrifice to save Detroit's auto giants. Handshaking and finger pointing. Condoleezza Rice calls for a robust response from Pakistan to the attack in Mumbai. And Coldplay Power Play. The rock band racks up 7 Grammy nominations, including Album of the Year. This is the CBS Morning News for Thursday, December 4th, 2008.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle Gielan. This morning, the leaders of Detroit's big 3 automakers make their second pitch to Congress for a federal bailout. They're asking for $34 billion in aid. In a surprising move, the UAW says it's willing to make major contract concessions, but for now, prospects for a bailout seem bleak. Tara Mergener's in Washington with more. Good morning, Tara.
Good morning, Michelle. The big 3 are counting on a better outcome today, but the reception could be chilly.
The big 3 don't plan on leaving Capitol Hill empty-handed.
I flew southwest to come here. I took the train from Philadelphia to Washington, and I'm in a town and country van to go to Washington. And by gosh, we're going to win this.
But many lawmakers say it's not about how the CEOs get to Washington. It's about what they want, a $34 billion aid plan to jumpstart the auto industry.
They're asking extraordinary assistance from the American people and the taxpayers in extraordinary times.
Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid says there aren't enough votes to prop up Detroit by tapping the Wall Street